Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for the solar eclipse spiritual practice. We're in eclipse season for the next few weeks. This is such a powerful time with lots of unexpected changes and twists and turns. So today we're going to talk about the energy and the astrology of the solar eclipse and the new moon in Libra. We'll do a card pull, and then there'll be a new beginnings ritual at the end so that we can use this eclipse energy to reset our lives. And I'll also channel some messages from my spirit guides. A lot of the channeled messages come during the card pull, but I also check in with them when I'm preparing for this and will incorporate whatever they think is important to what we talk about today. This is also Pay What You Can. There is a link in the show notes below to pay what you can, and I really do appreciate you doing that and supporting my business. One more thing, all my podcasts and spiritual practices are infused with positive energy, so you get an energy boost just for sitting there and listening. So sit back, relax, take some deep breaths, just be and allow your energy to be reset. And as always, pay special attention to anything you hear that resonates with you, because there are no coincidences about anything, including listening to this right now. There are messages for us constantly. So just listen for the messages that are for you today. The eclipse happening on Monday morning is a Ring of Fire annular solar eclipse. And during an annular solar eclipse, the moon is farther away from Earth than during a total eclipse, making the moon look smaller, which produces a ring of fire around the moon where the sun is visible on the outside. So we're able to see the total part of this eclipse in parts of Oregon, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, Texas, also in Central America. And it will be partially visible to all of us in the States. It's about 70% covered here in Montana. And it lasts a while, about 2.5 to 3 hours. So not only will this be spectacular to see, but eclipses also shift our consciousness and bring change. The total blockout of the sun acts as a big reset button for our energy and our lives. It's like we're being turned on, off, and then back on again. And this Ring of Fire in eclipse symbolizes transformation and a journey to a new state of being and a new phase of life. Some cultures associate the Ring of Fire with completeness because we can see the complete circle of the sun's outer edges. It's also a symbol of transformation and rebirth. So the Libra new moon solar eclipse is the second eclipse in the Aries-Libra cycle that we're going to be working with over the next 2 years. The first eclipse that we experienced in the Aries-Libra cycle was back in April of 2023. So think back to what was happening in your life around this time. It's not that the same themes are going to happen again, but whatever you were experiencing at that point in your life is ready to be upgraded. Or you are experiencing the next chapter of whatever evolved at that time. And this Aries-Libra eclipse cycle, it's new, and it's still planting seeds for our future. We may not be able to really wrap our heads around exactly what's changing yet, or exactly what's going to happen on this journey through this eclipse cycle. I mean, it's harder to see the bigger picture right now. But there's definitely a bigger picture forming. New ideas are bubbling up, and new chapters are starting. So just know that no matter what comes up during this eclipse cycle is not the whole story. This is just the beginning of something new. On a collective scale, the Aries-Libra eclipse cycle is triggering our connections around intimacy and relationships and how we choose to show up in them. It's also working on our feelings of inner strength and confidence, reminding us of how strong we are and that we already have what we need to lead the best life possible. And since Aries and Libra are both cardinal signs, when we're done with this eclipse cycle, we're going to have more inner strength. We'll have new skills and we'll have more confidence in ourselves. Thank goodness, I'll take it. So in this new cycle, all of the Libra eclipses occur near the south node of the moon. And this point represents shedding and release, particularly around relationships. All types of relationships, neighbors, coworkers, friends, lovers. We're releasing unhealthy relationship habits like people pleasing and codependency, and also noticing where our relationships are out of balance. So again, it may be hard to put all the pieces together of everything that's going on right now and all the changes. So you may want to keep a journal so you can write them down each time there's the eclipse, so you can maybe look back and figure it out. And it probably won't even make sense until they're all done, and then you can kind of look back and figure it out. So eclipses are portals to higher states of consciousness. They help us take these quantum leaps into new and more involved states of being. They fast track our soul contract, and they get us moving toward our destiny. Eclipses help us experience major shifts in our lives. And for this reason, they tend to bring fated events, and they put us where we need to be. Under an eclipse, we are steered in the direction that the universe knows is best. And all of these changes, these fated changes, aren't just happening on the actual day of the eclipse. Eclipse season starts about 2 weeks before the first eclipse, when the sun enters the vicinity of the lunar nodes. So we've been in eclipse energy now for a couple of weeks. And it's increasing. And it peaks with this solar eclipse. The first eclipse of the pair, there's another one at the end of the month, is considered the peak of the eclipse season's energy. This is when the biggest changes and the biggest shifts happen. And then the second eclipse of the pair, which is on the full moon on the 28th of this month, is associated with endings and closure and internal shifts. And then we get about 2 weeks after that where we're still in the energy to kind of integrate all of the changes that we've gone through. So pay attention to anything that changes this month. Clearly any big shifts, but also new ideas that pop into your head, new people you meet, and maybe the sudden urge to try something new. It's all important information. And even though some of the things may seem menial and not that important, they are. So pay attention. Solar eclipses fall under a new moon, so we can think of them as supercharged new moons. And new moons are the beginning of a new lunar cycle and the beginning point of a new chapter of our lives. This is the first new moon of fall, which is another beginning and first. On a new moon, energy is drawn in. And this kind of helps us connect with our deeper truth and figure out what's important to us. What do we really want? How are we feeling? And by asking ourselves these questions and connecting with ourselves, we unlock a new level of understanding, not just about who we are, but where we're going and what we want. We may feel new ideas start to bubble up and start to gain a sense of what we really want to put out into the world. So to understand an eclipse more, we look at the sign that it's in. And this one is happening in Libra. So we can expect some themes around balance. Libra is represented by the scales, and it regulates the flow of giving and receiving in our lives. So if we've been giving too much or not giving enough, the balance will be reset. So be open to giving to others and to receiving from others. Giving to others makes you feel good, and it opens the floodgates to abundance. Libra helps us balance this giving and receiving, accepting and offering. Opening us up to this energy also fills any gaps that you may have around scarcity and abundance. It balances that out. This eclipse brings us back to a center point where we feel more in harmony and more in alignment. Libra also rules over our relationships, and this solar eclipse is going to expose all of the shortcomings and all of the hidden resentments in your closest partnerships. It's also going to highlight relationships that we're ready to let go or to shift. And remember that it's occurring near the south node of the moon, which is also about relationships and releasing unhealthy relationships and getting back into balance in our relationships. So letting go of connections that no longer serve us creates room for relationships that do, which ultimately leads us to being happier in relationships. So Pluto is also active right now, which means there could be some power struggles. This power struggle could be with another person. It could also be within ourselves. We may struggle to let go of a relationship that we know it's time to let go of, or we may find ourselves playing a tug of war in our own minds about how to handle a certain thing or a certain situation. It could be going around and around. And this struggle and tug of war could feel intense because it's supercharged with these eclipse energies. But Pluto gets us to look within ourselves to the deepest corners of our minds that we often don't want to look at and we like to ignore. But we won't be able to ignore our issues right now. We can't smooth them over with love and light right now. We got to go deep, and we have to make peace with ourselves. Like, this is deep work, and if it sounds intense, it's because it is. But we get some help from Chiron, the asteroid, which is known as the wounded healer. And Chiron's power is also amplified under this eclipse, and it's helping us to heal. So we may feel a greater sense of peace and harmony and acceptance of where we are right now. This eclipse is planting seeds for us. Now, we may have issues with relationships. We may even find ourselves getting into power struggle with someone or ourselves. But there is deep healing. There's deep healing happening now. There's harmony that will result from this eclipse. This is a powerful time for standing in our power, in our light, and asserting what we need and letting those around us know how we can best be supported. So if we've been giving and giving, balance will need to be found. If we've been taking and taking, balance will need to be found. So let's recap a little bit. Solar eclipses are fate-changing alignments, and this eclipse will bring new beginnings and fated events that move us forward on our life path. It reveals what's hidden in our consciousness to wake us the fuck up and help us realize what we want and what we need so that we can open ourselves to receive it from the universe. The universe has this great way of aligning us with what we truly want when we know what it is and we ask for it. So one last thing to mention is that eclipses are highly unpredictable, making it very challenging to prepare for all those unexpected twists and turns. So the best approach to this eclipse season is to surrender. Surrender and trust that the universe has your back. And since the eclipse is planting seeds for us, we can just surrender and trust that whatever comes our way will be exactly what we needed. Our destiny is front and center right now. This is a powerful time. So surrender and enjoy the ride. Everything is okay. Everything is better than okay. It's for our greatest good. So this would be a really great time to do a card pull. You know, I do love a good card pull. And where's my lid of my box? Here it is. I use the Light Seers Tarot. This is my favorite deck right now. It's my daily deck. And if you watch every time or come for these, you know that I like to do a 3-card pull. I'm kind of really curious to see what the cards have to say about this eclipse too, because, you know, when there's unexpected twists and turns and fates involved, I mean, that can be a little bit scary. Like, we can go to the dark side of, oh God, what's going to happen, and be afraid, or we can just surrender and assume that it will be for our highest good, which it is, and see what it brings. So it can be a fabulous, exciting, wild ride if you let it be. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. I know I'm just giggling because it's ridiculous how fabulous that these fit. Okay, the first card, the Sun. The Sun. One of the best cards you can get in the deck, right? All about positive energy. And positive outcomes and abundance. The second card is the Wheel. This is the Destiny card or the Fate card. Of course it is. Of course we would get that card with the eclipse. And then the last card, this is interesting. I can't wait to see what the guides have to say about this one, is the 5 of Cups. And you can look at her. She looks like a little depressed, sad, whatever. So I'm curious to see how how these all fit together. So let's start with the first one. Oh, before we do that though, I love to do the numerology of the cards. I just take the numbers that are on the cards. This particular draw is a 115, and then I look up the meaning of that. The more you hold positive thoughts about the changes you're currently making or considering, the better the outcome will be for you and everyone involved. The more you hold positive thoughts about the changes you're currently making or considering, the better the outcome will be for you and everyone involved. Funny that we're just talking about that a second ago, about looking at this eclipse time as a positive time of positive change, which is right here in this first card. The sun, joy, abundance, positivity, love, dreams come true. The future's so bright that we have to wear shades. This is the success card. It's reassuring us that the fated changes that will be happening with this eclipse are for our best. This is one of the best cards in the deck. It's about happiness. Look at her. She's so incredibly happy. It's, once again, reassuring because, times where there's change happening and it's unsettled and we don't know can feel scary. But this is reassuring us, hey, it's going to be okay. This is the most positive, one of the most positive cards in the deck. So first one that we draw, I love it. Joy, abundance, positivity. Everything is okay. I have to say, though, of all the ones we're drawing today, the three we're drawing, this is it. The wheel card. This is fate, destiny, the wheel of fortune, which is always turning. You can see, she's in balance, too. Of course, Libra, about balance, bringing us back to balance. It's like we said, the wheel's always changing. Things are always changing. We can't control it. So just surrender. And once again, know that the universe has your back. You can see too, she's like, I got this. I'm balanced. Change is coming. Fate is here. Of course we get the fate and destiny card with this eclipse. Of course, that's the perfect one. All right. And then, this one's interesting. The 5 of Cups. She looks pretty sad and disappointed, maybe grieving, feeling sorry for herself. And I think that all of us could probably relate to this feeling this summer with all the retrogrades and all the introspection that we did, like all those planets retrograde and rethinking and reviewing, and everything was up. And we looked at some things that were uncomfortable for us. It's hard to look at your shit. Easy to feel sorry for yourself. Hard to look at the shit, but easy to feel sorry for yourself. And, that's kind of how she's looking now. But it's time to get back up, to give yourself permission to move forward. Make the changes that you need to make and move forward. This is, you have to believe that the future is going to be even better than it is now. If you don't have that, what do you have? The universe is always leveling us up, always. So reassurance that positivity or manifested dreams, a future is so bright, success is coming for us. Fated times. We're in balance. We're in balance in these fated times, but this is destiny. So just surrender. And then allow yourself to feel the feels right now. Allow yourself to be in it, but you're not staying in it. Get what you need to get out of it. Thank you to Chiron for helping us heal any wounds that may have come up during the summer with all the retrogrades. There's still lots of planets retrograde right now too. And then just allow ourselves to move forward in a positive way. So next we're going to be doing a new beginnings ritual. And I'm excited about doing this ritual. I've done guided meditations on these spiritual practices before, but never really a ritual. So this is my first ritual that I will be doing. And before we get started, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need a candle, preferably a white candle, but any candle will do. You'll need a piece of paper and something to write with. We want to have a single sheet of paper right now. It'll work best for what we're doing. You also might want to have your journal handy to write in after you're done. And then 2 more things, a bowl of water and maybe a potted plant. So we're going to plant our intentions. So you can use an inside plant for that, or you can plant them outside, which is what I'm going to do. So go ahead and pause the recording right now so that you can gather all this shizzle up. Once again, you need a candle, paper and pen, a bowl of water, maybe your journal, and a plant. So go ahead and pause the recording right now and get that stuff. Now, the solar eclipse is a powerful time for welcoming new changes and new beginnings. And this ritual helps us align with the transformative energy of the eclipse and open ourselves up to the positive shifts in our lives. So the intention for this ritual is to welcome new beginnings. So we're going to start by lighting the candle. And this symbolizes illumination and clarity. Now, I'm going to use the sound bowl to cleanse our space and prepare us for the ritual. So feel free right now just to go ahead and close your eyes. And just start with the breath, in and out, calm and relaxed. Now let's take that breath and slow it down, make it longer and deeper. Now with each inhale, imagine you're drawing in fresh, revitalizing energy from the universe. And with each exhale, imagine you're releasing any negative or stagnant energy from your body and your mind. Inhale the new, exhale the old. Now visualize from the base of your spine or the soles of your feet that roots are growing downward, deep into the earth. And these roots are strong, like those of a tree. And they reach down further and further with each breath. And as your roots penetrate the earth, feel a connection with the earth's energy. Imagine this energy as a warm and grounding light that flows up through your roots and into your body. Now with each breath, allow this earth energy to fill you. We want to feel it moving through your legs, into your torso, and up into your arms. Just sense the energy flowing through your entire body, bringing you a sense of stability, of balance, and calmness. Now repeat to yourself, I am grounded, centered, and connected to the earth's energy. I am grounded, centered, and connected to the earth's energy. I am safe and supported. I am safe and supported. Now take a minute to reflect on the changes you'd like to make in your life, the new beginnings that you would like to welcome. And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes and go ahead and write down those new intentions on a piece of paper. This is where a single piece of paper works the best. Feel free to pause the recording here if you'd like more time. Now, once again, feel free to pause the recording here as long as you'd like and get everything down. Take as much time as you need. And then when you're ready, when you're done with that, we're going to roll up this piece of paper. That's why a single piece of paper works best. Just roll it up. And we're going to gently pass it through the flames of our candle, not burn it. We don't want to catch it on fire. We just want to pass it through. You can do this as many times as you like. For some reason, the number 7 is coming to me, so I'm going to pass mine through 7 times. Now, this symbolizes the ignition of our intentions, and it welcomes change. So then with that said, we're going to take our bowl of water and go, if you don't have it, go get it now, but you should have it with you by now. And feel free to watch me first. We're going to take both fingertips of one of our hands, dip it into the water, starting with our forehead. Place it on your third eye chakra and say, I am ready to welcome positive change into my life with an open mind. Feel free to do it again with me, fingertips in. I am ready to welcome positive change into my life with an open mind. As it's dripping down my face. Now, once again, dip the fingertips in. This time we're putting it into our heart. I am ready to welcome positive change into my life with an open heart. One more time. Dip in. I am ready to welcome positive change into my life with an open heart. Now, one additional step that you can take is you can rip off a piece of paper. We're going to plant our intentions if you would like to do that. So we don't want to take this whole big piece of paper and stick it in a pot or a plant. So go ahead and rip off just like a little piece of the corner. And you don't have to write the whole intention, but for mine would be business, health, love. Is the water still dripping down my face? And it's just a little teeny piece of paper. And we want to plant this. We're going to take our plant and we're going to go ahead and stick that in a potted plant. So you can that's why we don't want the huge piece of paper. We don't want the big piece of paper in there, but you can just stick it down there. Now I am actually going to go stick this in a plant outside on my patio, one of my planters, and stick it out there. You can also take it outside, put it in your garden. And so you might think, well, Renee, because the intention is when the plant grows, our new beginnings grow. That's what this is symbolizing. So it makes sense you would do an indoor plant right now, but I really like the idea, especially in Montana where it's overwintering. So I'm going to slit this piece of paper out there in my plant and nurture it for the winter. And so then when spring comes, because the energy of this eclipse lasts for about 6 months, the intentions we set now come to fruition in about 6 months. So in about 6 months, it's going to be spring. Things are going to be sprouting. Things are going to be growing. So I really love the idea of by spring, that's here. The new changes are here and I can welcome them then. Feel free, indoor plant, outdoor plant, garden, whatever suits you the best, whatever feels best for you. Follow your intuition. Okay, let's go ahead and close our eyes again. Once again, going back to the breath. Now let's picture yourself sometime in the future, in the spring. Imagine yourself stepping into a bright and transformed future, living the changes that you wrote down today. Feel the joy, the excitement, and the fulfillment of these new beginnings. Picture the future you living these new beginnings. Now repeat to yourself, I am open and ready to welcome the positive changes that the eclipse brings into my life. I am open and ready to welcome the positive changes that the eclipse brings into my life. And so it is. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And this would be a great time to pause again and journal. Journal, maybe spend some time thinking about your future and what this looks like maybe dreaming when all the new beginnings are here and you're living them. Maybe write about how you're going to take action. Maybe how you're going to nurture these new beginnings as they come into existence. So I really would like to thank you for honoring and celebrating this eclipse with me. I appreciate you subscribing and liking and sharing this video with a friend you think may find value in it. It is a donation-based video, so feel free to pay what you can and the link in the show notes. One more thing to mention, my day job is as a spirit guide channeler. So I am, from now until the 28th of October, which is the lunar eclipse, I am having a double eclipse sale. So you get two 30-minute sessions with me and your spirit guides for only $111. Super great deal. Almost half of what I normally charge. So I will also put a link to that in the show notes too. So once again, happy eclipse. I'm so grateful that you are here and honored this with me and an honor to do this with me. Thank you so much and have a fabulous eclipse.